Welcome to FMH InsureCast, a podcast created by Farmers Mutual Hail designed to deliver expertise and insights from trusted FMH team members and industry experts. Each new episode will dive into new products, industry updates, and innovative solutions. Let's get to today's topic.
Hey everyone, Dave DeCap here. Welcome back to FMH InsureCast. We're here today to discuss changes to the beginning farmer rancher program for 2026. And if you remember back to our last episode where Ken Ripley and I were talking about the OBBBA, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, there are numerous changes made to the crop insurance program that will continue to keep you updated on as we lead into next year. Things continue to come out, but we're happy to be able to put that one in front of you. But particularly after our last episode, we've gotten some additional details and heard some commonly asked questions on the beginning farmer rancher. BFR is kind of how we'll just refer to it the rest of the time here. So wanted to go over those in some deal in this, what we're calling kind of a bonus or extra episode. Probably won't be as long as the normal ones, but we thought let's dive into beginning farmer rancher a little bit because there's been a lot of questions. So to do that, this is a quick hitting episode, but we have a heavy hitter here today, someone that hasn't been on the podcast yet. Very new to InsureCast, but not new to crop insurance, not new to FMH certainly. So let's get right to him. Josh Menz is here today. And Josh, welcome to InsureCast.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah. All right. Awesome to have you on. So for the listeners and viewers, can you introduce yourself, talk a little bit about what you do here at FMH, and then we'll kick her off.
Yeah. Thanks, Dave. My title is AVP of Crop Insurance Underwriting. I'm one of our underwriting managers here, and my team's a little different than our other underwriting teams, where I have a mix of insurance specialists and then operations specialists. So we keep FMHA up to date on any changes, such as OBBBA changes.
Yeah, cool, awesome. Again, great to have you here, Josh. Looking forward to talking a little bit more about BFR. We've touched on BFR in a couple of our previous podcasts, namely the most recent one we've done. But since there are a handful of updates this coming year, you got eligibility from 5 to 10 years. There's logistics related to those that have kind of timed out. When do the changes kick in? What do I need to do? Obviously, there's some premium support or subsidy changes as well. We wanted to take a little bit of time, specially dedicated to expand on the program and these updates. Josh, can you just give us some basics on what BFR is and just kind of a high-level overview of the program?
Yeah, sure. BFR isn't a new topic when it comes to crop insurance. It's been around for a while, and the initial intent behind the BFR rules was to provide those insureds and farmers that are new to crop insurance and new to their industry, whatever support on the crop insurance side that we can get to help them start their journey into farming. So it was a program that RMA released to encourage new farmers to get into crop insurance, because when they're starting out, they face a lot of complications and complexities with just being new, access to capital, don't have that yield history built up, and just, maybe some higher risks. So when every dollar counts for those new insureds, crop insurance might be an easy place to trim some costs as they're getting into the industry.
Good stuff. Yeah, it's hard enough when you've been farming for 40, 45 years, let alone if you're just beginning and getting started out. So it's a great program that helps those folks get up on their feet. So who qualifies?
Yeah, so in order to qualify, we'll go back to the technical definition from the crop provisions. A producer must not have actively operated and managed a farm or ranch with an insurable interest for more than the allowed number of crop years. So historically, that number has been 5. And then with some OBBA changes we'll get into here in a little bit, that's been bumped up to 10 in 26. There are some exclusions that they can take out. So all those years of having that insurable interest don't necessarily have to count against them. So if they've been in post-secondary education, under the age of 18, as some insureds and farmers get started earlier and earlier, or actively in the military. They can exclude those years to get that eligibility back.
All right, Josh, let's dive into some of the updates that have taken place with the recent legislation, OB3 or OBBBA. Can you talk a little bit about some of the major changes, particularly as far as the benefits?
Yeah, sure. So the main one is that increase in eligibility. As I previously mentioned, it used to be 5 years, and now with the OBBBA, they get 10 years of eligibility. So another 5 years of benefits that they'll get by being a BFR. The other big one is the new additional subsidy. So notice how before I was saying eligibility, and now in this slide, it'll say benefit year. So if they're in their first year of using BFR benefits, they'll get 15% additional subsidy, whereas before it was just a flat 10% for all years. If they're in their second year, that's also a 15% additional subsidy on their premium. And then it stair steps down from there. So year 3 is 13, year 11, or year 4, is 11%. And then to finish out their eligibility, they'll get the 10% like the old rules.
Gotcha. So here's another area. It sounds like splitting hairs a little bit, but I know there's been a lot of questions around this as far as eligibility versus year of benefits. Can you talk a little bit more and explain that?
Yeah. So eligibility, like I said, is the term we've been used to with BFR in the past. How many years are they eligible to receive benefits? Now in 2026, with the OBBBA changes, we've got this year of benefit to figure out how much additional subsidy they'll get, the 15, 13, or 11, or the 10. So if you think about it, throw out an example here.
Yeah, definitely. That'll really help, I think.
Yeah. If you have a young farmer who's produced corn and soybeans, they've started out farming with their dad or their grandpa, and to ease them into it, they've given them a 50% share on maybe an 80 or something like that. And they've been doing that for 7 years. Now that new insured signs up for crop insurance because they've picked up the neighbor's 300 acres. They're ready to take that step, do more on their own without the support of their dad or their grandpa helping them out. So in 2026, they sign up for crop insurance. They got more risk. They got more to cover, more that they want to lock in their prices and take advantage of all the crop insurance has to offer. So they sign up for BFR. Well, those 7 years, unfortunately, are going to count against their eligibility due to the rules we talked about before. So they have 3 years of eligibility left. But since they're new to crop insurance in 26, and with the OBBA changes, they're in their first year of benefit, so they'll get that 15% additional subsidy. So that'll really help them out. And then, like we talked before, also they'll stair step down in year 2 and year 3 to finish out their eligibility. So they get 15%, 15%, and then 13% in their third year of benefit. And that'll wrap up their eligibility for the BFR.
And then just to restate that, so if that in the first year of benefit, I'm a beginning farmer, but my first year of benefit, not necessarily eligibility, I decided to purchase ECO. So that 15% is on top of the already 80% subsidy or premium support that's there. So basically, I'm getting a premium support or subsidy of 95%.
Correct.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the that's one of the things I think that's some of the big, I'll call it wow factor. But when you combine some of the changes that have taken place in the OBBBA, you can really see some significant impact for the benefit of our farmer insureds.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. And I do have another example here, throwing out some extreme examples. These probably aren't going to be the norm. The value of crop insurance is there and everybody recognizes it. So a lot of new farmers are taking it out in their first year, but these extreme examples are a good representation of these rule changes. So the other one I have is a new farmer who's raised raised livestock for the past 9 years. And now they're starting to get into the row crop. So those that insurable interest of livestock for those 9 years counts against their eligibility, but they have crop insurance for the first year and taken out that first year of benefit for the 15% on their only year of eligibility. So again, another extreme example. Most of your insureds are going to come in without any history, without any eligibility counting against them, and get the full 10 years and those additional subsidy for the first 4 or 5.
Yeah, for sure. So shifting gears a little bit. So what do farmers need to do for 2026? Like, who needs a new application? How does that look?
Yeah, and that's another good question that we've gotten quite a bit from our agents is what do I need to do to take advantage of these? If they're with the same AIP that they've been with in the past and they're staying with that AIP in 26, no new BFR application would be needed. We have all the information that's needed. RMA is providing us the information back on the year of benefit for us to use and apply to the policies correctly. So no new BFR application is needed. When it comes to if they need changes or updates, those rules were already there. Nothing changed there. So if they do have updates that need to be needed, then we would need that new BFR app, but that's not the norm either. So as long as they're not changing AIPs, you don't need to do anything. I do recommend running your BFR, VFR policy report in FMHA just to double check and make sure everything is good in the system. But we've worked through that already.
Gotcha. Very cool. So, so we've hit some of the points we definitely wanted to cover. Any other important updates or changes that folks need to be aware of?
Yeah, so I will go back to the application process, and if they are transferring AIPs, so you're bringing somebody new into FMHA that had crop insurance with a different AIP last year, we can take that previous AIP's BFR application that say maybe they completed in 2023 or 25. We can take that document, and as long as you provide that to us, they don't need a new application either. If you don't have access to that, maybe they're with a different agent, or it was quite a while ago, back 21 even, when they completed that, and you just can't find it, then just go ahead and complete a new application and provide that to us, and we can get these BFR benefits started for them. So another one I would say is the timing of when all this goes into place. For a majority of your row crops and the crops in 26, the OBBA, I think, was officially passed on July 4th.
Right. Yep.
So what RMA did was they extended the deadline for any crops with a sales closing date after July 1st to November 30th. So understanding it's taken some time to get the OBBA changes out there to everybody and for everybody to understand them, we can accept an app up until November 30th. If the sales closing date is after November 30th, then the normal rules apply where that BFR application needs to be completed before the sales closing date for the crop. So no change there for when you get into your spring crops and things like that, but a deadline extension for those fall crops. And the last one I would throw out there is what we didn't see change. So the veteran farmer and rancher, that's still available for those veterans getting into crop insurance and into farming. So no rule changes there. And then, whole farm is still available for BFR benefits as well.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. Excellent. So, so appreciate all that. I think that's really helpful diving into some of that. And I think you explained it very well. Any other kind of final thoughts or reminders that folks should be aware of?
Yeah, I would say if you're an insured listening to this, certainly go to your agent and ask them their questions. And then if your agent getting those questions, we're always here to help in underwriting. I'd reach out to your insurance specialist if you need any assistance.
Yeah, I just from my side of the house, I would also plug. So we've done some podcasts that you can refer to. From the communication side of the house, we put out a number of communications related to this, and then obviously our training team is an excellent training team. So we've got a lot of training materials out there too. So I think the takeaway is, if you have more questions, we have many resources available to help and support and kind of go from there. So with that, I think we'll close the episode down. I want to thank Josh. Thanks so much for coming on and talking about BFR. It's been great, and I would love to have you back. You good for that?
Sounds good. Yeah, we'll find another topic.
All right, awesome. So everybody listening and watching, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like and subscribe on whatever app or service that you're listening to. That helps us get it out a little bit more broadly, and it also make sure that you'll see the next one when we release. So lastly, and most importantly, I want to thank everybody for listening and everybody who tuned in on YouTube to watch. Really appreciate that. And we've got more episodes in the hopper, so look for another FMH InsureCast coming your way soon.
You've been listening to FMH InsureCast. We appreciate you joining us today and would like to hear from you. If you have questions about today's topic or an idea to share for an upcoming podcast, you can contact us at fmhpodcast@fmh.com. Thanks for listening. This podcast is intended for information purposes only. See policy provisions, terms, and conditions for details. Products underwritten by Farmers Mutual Hail Insurance Company of Iowa and its affiliates, West Des Moines, Iowa. Farmers Mutual Hail is an equal opportunity provider.